And so today's meeting is going to be about Act e-marketing. So Act e-marketing is a feature that was added in version 16.3. As always, we are working out of the Act version 19.2 demo database, and we are going to try to do a brief demo as much as I can. This is a topic that's always widely requested that I could certainly spend hours talking about. I am one of the first ACT consultants to get ACT e-marketing certified as soon as they offered the certification. Been doing it a number of years. There are many ins and outs to this program, a whole lot of things to learn. We're going to do our best job to try to get you started on a fast track with it today. So the first time that you want to open up e-marketing, look at the left-hand side of your database at the e-marketing tab right down here. And there is an e-marketing button which opens up this e-marketing account overview page. If you haven't never logged on to ACT e-marketing before, you will have to be prompted with your logon here, which is going to be your email and password. If you do not have an account, and this is going to depend on your version of ACT, versions of ACT that are like 16 through 18, you'll be able to make a free ACT e-marketing account directly within this screen. The free account will give you 500 emails per month to your database. The way that the email marketing pricing levels work, and I'll pull up the pricing at the end if we have a little bit of time, is that you can send emails directly to contacts in your database an unlimited number of times per month, but you are charged for every unique email address that you send to within a month. And the free level comes with 500 emails per month, and if you want to expand beyond that, you can pay, and the pricing starts at $30 per month for 2,500 emails. I really encourage everybody to at least sign up for the free account before they go ahead and purchase the service, because it will really help you get the ball rolling before you go on with doing that. If you're on version 19 and you don't see the option to sign up for a free e-marketing account right there within the main page when you go to open this up, if it only prompts you for a login and there's nowhere for you to try to create your own account, then you have to click on the purchase/upgrade button over here. And what that would do is it loads you up. If you're not logged into your account already, it brings you to this ACT e-marketing login account, where it will have you fill out this form to create your ACT marketing account. If you do this, then usually within 1 to 2 business days, SwiftPage will have your ACT e-marketing account set up for you. They do it this way just so that they can now have a little bit more control on who's using the service. For this field called reseller ID, I would greatly appreciate it if everybody could use our reseller ID. Certainly this helps us out quite a bit. I will go ahead and type this into the chat box as well. This reseller ID, you can pause the video here or jot it down. Definitely helps us get credit for the work. It's there in the chat box of GoToMeeting. So, moving on. When you're in the ACT e-marketing page, once you're logged in, you will see several options in front of you about how you can send out email blasts to your database, including creating an email template, which group, where you want to send it to, and viewing reports about your email blast. To start with creating an email template, I'm going to say Edit Templates. There's a button right here for it. And all this will do, if you click on this Edit Templates option within ACT e-marketing, it's going to launch a web browser. In my case, it will be Google Chrome. It automatically logs me into my ACT e-marketing account, and it is going to pull up the template editor for me. Most of the work with ACT e-marketing is done through your web browser. You'll see that it brings me to a website called AEM.spsend.com. Might look like a bunch of letters, but it's just actemarketing.swiftpagesend.com, AEM.spsend. Anybody from any computer at your company can log in to this AEM.spsend.com if they open up a new tab and log in with that email and password that they set up in the first tab to come to here and do all of the heavy work. The only part that you actually use your database for is going to be to send out the email campaign. everything else, including building the template, designing, and viewing the reports, is all just done through the web browser anyway. It's just when you want to actually send it do we come back to ACT. But that's an easy way to log in, and remember this URL by using the create button there. So when I open up my e-marketing account, it brings me to the templates folder, and there's two drop downs up here that let you find out the templates that you're selecting. You've got the stock templates that come with the account. They have a folder called Basic and Premium, which are going to be the stock templates that ACT has provided for us. See if this loads up for us. So they have several templates pre-made. There's about 100 of them in different categories and whatnot, with different content layouts. What you really want to try to pay attention to is not the actual content on here. I know that they have these things broken up into different categories like real estate or education. I think they're making some type of change here because this looks a little bit different on me. All these templates look the exact same to me. You can view a template by hovering over it and pressing on the little preview icon. Yeah, for whatever reason, they're all showing the same recipe menu in the preview pane, but when I actually press the eyeball to preview them, they're looking a little bit different. The ones that have these mobile flags on them mean that they are mobile responsive and friendly, that they'll display properly on mobile devices. Certain responsive things like that mean that, you know, for example, if I look at this template and I can see 3 columns here, or here's a text on the left and a picture on the right. If I'm not looking on a mobile phone, this might be too narrow, but I can use this preview here to see how this would display on a phone. I can see that this mobile responsive template is automatically designed to move the text above the picture and stack the columns vertically if we're looking at a mobile phone, rather than doing it all side by side, which might get condensed down too small on that kind of a screen. If you find a template that you like within your premium or basic templates folder, and they're both free, there's no difference in cost or anything like that to use the premium templates. If you like one that you found, you can press the plus to say add to my template so that it will become editable for you to use. I will go ahead and add this in. It will ask you to select a category or a folder that you want to copy this into within your account. If you want to create a new category, you can type anything in here that you'd like. I'll go ahead and just choose demo, something that I've done before. It's nice that if you're going to have different templates for different topics to kind of put them in different categories. Sometimes people just make a category that's just their company name and they just drop everything into that one main folder so that you don't have to dig around for anything. That's up to you. And I will call this, give this template a name. This isn't anything that will ever be seen by the end recipients, but it will help you to know what template you're looking at and working with. So we copy that over. Give it one moment. It will copy over into the My Templates account and then load us up into the ACT e-marketing template editor. Okay. So here's the ACT e-marketing template editor, and a lot of it is kind of straightforward, but there is a little bit to learn. As I hover around the window, you'll see these different windows popping up. You can do different things with these windows, like move them, duplicate them, or delete them. If I want to edit this text, I can press on the edit text button, the font icon up here. If I click on that, then my cursor becomes a cursor that I can go ahead and start typing freely into here to help me type as much text as I want. As I highlight text or make any changes with it, I do have a text editing toolbar where I can change things like font size, alignment. I can make hyperlinks if I click on the link button to link something to a website. I can change font colors with these little teardrop icons and font sizes. and certain font styles, whatever I'm in the mood for. Another nice thing, and so ideally what you would do is be changing all of the content of your demo template and filling all of this out as you see appropriate. One thing that's nice about these is, in addition to just regular basic text, you can do mail merge fields with your database. So I'm just going to delete some of this out of here. If I say, let me make sure this is coming through white. I want this black text. So if I say something like dear, and then come over here to my text box, this insert mail merge fields icon, I can put in somebody's first name or their salutation right here into the template. So if I say something like dear first name, comma, we invite you to see us. As it happens in this demo template, I've dropped my cursor somewhere that it's already predefined to have white text, so I have to highlight that and say black. It's these little quirky behaviors that I've told you about that you'll eventually get used to. You know, if you're typing and don't see something, maybe try selecting it to make sure that all of your fonts that you're working with is black and not white on white. I am more than happy to help you build your email templates. Outbound template design is a service that I offer. I can get very precise by editing certain HTML with these fields. You can change your layout to add things like columns. If I wanted to add a new column with, you know, a picture 50% wide with a picture on the left and some text on the right, you can do that with the layout tab here, as well as 3-column layouts. If you want to drop images in there, you can upload images from your own computer, as well as use their own stock template images. Of course, you are going to use your own pictures. Not too often that many people want to use the stock pictures, but they do have many that are in there for free for you to use. But you can drop in your own pictures and you just drag and drop them onto the template like so. And it will automatically resize and drop them in there for you. Just a second, those will load up. I know this is looking sloppy because I'm going fast to keep today's demo short. I could really go into a lot of details about this template designer, but if you want a more in-depth session about this, then I strongly encourage that you get yourself on my calendar once you have a template in mind, and we can build it together from start to finish. It's always much more effective to do kind of a trial by fire here, I suppose, where instead of me just showing you, oh yeah, you can highlight and move these things around and change these colors and link these buttons, to do an actual full start to finish real email blast. And that way you run into a lot more real fine-tuned questions. And then at the end of the whole demo, so to speak, you have a very real and workable and usable email blast that's ready to be sent out to your database. You're not just set loose into the world to then have to figure it out on your own again. Once we have the whole template filled out, we can go ahead and preview it with this eyeball icon up here. Try again. It's being a bit slow. Maybe I didn't click it. And preview the email template. You have the option to send test emails to yourself or to anyone at your company, or to anyone really at all. You can type in the preview email here just to make sure that you do a test send to yourself to see that everything displays properly, that you want that to be sent off, and you can verify that everything is good before you save it up. And you can save or save as to make duplicate templates up here with the save icons. Once you're all done editing your template, then we are ready to send it. And I will mention, templates are specific to each ACT e-marketing account. A very common question that people ask is, does every user at the company get their own free ACT e-marketing account with 500 emails that they can send? The answer is yes, you can, but it's not really recommended. Because the reason is that every separate user would have their own separate account without having shared templates between them. Everybody could have their own account, but if they go to look at their templates that they've designed or built in the past, they go to try to send it out, they would only see the ones that that particular user has worked on. And that would be a lot of double work because you can't have everybody in the company design their own template from scratch every time. It's kind of best to just pay the fee for a higher shared quota so that you get the huge convenience of everybody can be working out of the same account. There is I'll show you the sender profiles when we're ready to go send this out. You come back into ACT and you say send email campaign once your email blast is all built up and designed and good to go. So the way I do recommend that you work with ACT e-marketing is that one person signs up for the account. You can pay for that account to have a high send limit, and many people can go ahead and share the same account with their ACT database. They can all log into the same panel here and be logged in from many locations. There's normally not a problem with that. Let's see, right now my ACT e-marketing is telling me though that it might not be wanting me to do this with the demo database. I haven't set up my e-marketing account with the demo database yet, so let me just make sure that this is going okay. So back in ACT, I click on send. I'm sorry for that little detour there. I just had to make sure my account was all verified. Back in ACT e-marketing, I click on send and it will ask me, do I want to send to the current contact for a one-off email blast, lookup, all contacts, or group. Group is the main way to do this. I strongly recommend that everybody does some ACT groups. You should see one of my seminars on ACT dynamic groups and static groups for building yourself powerful lists for ACT e-marketing. If you say that you want to send your email blast to a certain group, it will show you all of the groups within your ACT database, and you can select them as to which one you want to send to and press OK. It will give you a little message here about how many contacts are in this campaign and how many new recipients will be deducted from your remaining quota. The sender profile is who you are sending this email as. So before I mentioned that somebody's going to be signing up for the ACT e-marketing account using their own email address and setting a password, that is not necessarily who your emails will be sent as. By default, if you do not change anything, then yes, that will be who your emails are sent as. But if you want, then you can do something called these sender profiles. And your sender profile is basically a drop-down of when your email is being sent, do you want this to look like it's coming from you and have the reply to email address be coming to you? You can set these sender profiles to however you'd like. You can make it your own personal email that gets the highest opener and response rate. Some people like to make it something like a news@123.com or an info@123.com. Those can sometimes have a higher chance of going into spam and a lower open rate, but by all means, if your corporate branding wants you to send as a more generic account, you can do that within the sender profiles. This is also a great way that I mentioned if many people are sharing the same account, you're logged in with the same e-marketing account from many databases, and perhaps many people are doing the email marketing and email blast, each person can choose their own name out of the drop-down when they go to send it out so that they can manage the responses and bounce backs. So I'll go ahead and choose myself here. You give your template a catchy subject. For all the hard work we do designing our email templates, we spend a very long time putting them together. It really comes down to the subject line in a lot of ways. If people give it a half second of thought if they want to open it, hopefully they do. Actually, something I want to mention in addition to the catchy subject line, back in our template editor, these templates have a handy feature on the top of them that I'd like to point out. Preview this one. There's a space up here. Oh, this one doesn't have it shown in here because it's blanked out. Let me find you one that has it. Maybe one of these web school ones that you're all very familiar with. So there's this preview text up on top, and there's a spot here for text on every single ACT email marketing blast that you send. There's a space that you can type text in that you very much should, because almost every email client, if you go and look at your emails, they will show you a subject line, of course, but they also will generally show you a preview of the email by pulling in the first sentence or two of the email to be shown below the subject. And you want to make sure that you have standard plain text shown first before any of the HTML loads, because if people see an email blast where the preview text looks like it has some HTML code in there about links or an image or something like that, it really just signals to people that this is a mass email blast promotion, and it also signals to people that you miss an opportunity to kind of pitch your message in a secondary way. So something I'd like to point out, that in addition to your subject line of your email that you should think very carefully about, you should also think carefully about the kind of secondary subject line. I'm making air quotes with my fingers right now. The secondary subject line that can go up here that will be loaded into your email templates preview text, so that when people are looking at this in Outlook or on their phones, they'll see that preview text before they open it as well. Okay, so we've got our group, we've got who we're sending as, we've got our subject line. You pick which template you want. So these drop downs are the same as I showed you earlier, where we've got groups from online. You pick your group, and then you pick the template that you've got that you wanted to send here. I believe it was this one. And you can go ahead and you can send the email blast right now if you want it to go send away, or you can schedule send if you want this to go out on a different date and time. So that if you want this email blast to go out on a Sunday at 4 a.m., then by all means you can go ahead and queue it up, and it will be sent without you even being awake or having ACT open. The scheduled send is a very nice feature. It also gives you a chance that you can scheduled send something to go out, and you have a chance to cancel it in case something changes before you want it to be fired away. I find this feature very useful because the email messages that you guys get every week about what this week's virtual users group topic is, or my ACT webinars topic, I build all of those out well in advance. I kind of make a series of 12 of them all at once. I do a whole bunch of scheduled sends all in a row, and then I kind of forget about it for a while. Those just manage themselves, so I do like this feature a lot. You choose your options there, and you go ahead and send it out. It will ask you to confirm, are you sure you want to send this email blast? And you say okay, and then out it goes. Whew, quite a mouthful. The next thing to pay attention to is on the technical side, where does it go once that email blast is queued up? What happens is ACT will load up your contact list from your group, temporarily upload it to SwiftPage's servers in Denver, Colorado. That's where they operate ACT marketing out of, and where the ACT headquarters are. And the emails are sent out from their email servers to the ACT contact list that's specified within the groups tab here. So the more people you're sending to, the longer this can take. If you're only sending to a few hundred contacts, then the email blast will zip up and send out very quickly. I have some customers that send to 35 or 40,000 contacts in a single email blast, and those can take many minutes to queue up and send out. When the emails are being sent out from SwiftPage's servers in Denver, they are being sent out from their mail servers. They're not being sent out from your own. You actually have SwiftPage is impersonating you by making the send as name and the send as email address look like it's coming from your company. This is a huge benefit of why you should always use a third-party email marketing service, is because if people want to mark you as spam or opt out of your emails, if they mark your emails as spam, then SwiftPage's servers in Denver take the hit. You do not run the risk of getting your own email address and domain blacklisted for doing massive email marketing promotions. Very good to use a third-party company for that purpose. And on a note on unsubscribes, every email blast, you've seen them in the ones that you receive from me every week, have a unique unsubscribe button in the footer that is mandatory. You cannot even remove it with ACT marketing. every customer or every recipient has the option to opt out of your emails by simply clicking on that link, and ACT eMarketing will prevent you from ever sending to them again. If you try to send them an email blast or send to a group that contains their email address in it, then ACT eMarketing will just skip over it. It'll shut it down just for that email address, but it will send out all the others so that you do not accidentally send to somebody that's already been opted out. But that's only through ACT eMarketing, so that if somebody opts out from your email marketing blast, they won't receive further marketing promotions from you, but you could still send them direct Outlook emails or direct emails on the side. The laws regarding email marketing are important to keep in mind too. In the United States, we have the CAN-SPAM Act specifies that everything is opt-out based, so you are legally allowed to send unsolicited email messages to anybody that you'd like until they have expressly said that they want to opt out from your email campaigns, at which point it does become illegal to continue to send to them. The Canadian laws are far, far more strict. I strongly recommend that you just don't even bother to send to anybody in Canada. If you have Canadians in your database, build your groups in a way to get them out of there. The Canadian laws require an explicit opt-in, and you actually are now, as of last fall, they've added on some more strict requirements that you need to keep track of when the person opted into your list, in what way they opted in, and how you acquired their email address. And they've done like a confirmation email to expressly opt in. You can be audited for sending to Canadians. I think it's too much work. I say don't even bother sending to them. But it's just something to keep in mind about when you're sending out your email blast. So you go ahead and send these out. I said that the servers in Colorado are actually impersonating you and sending on your behalf. There are some domain validation controls that you need to do in order to give them permission to send on your behalf. You can let them go ahead with send this without doing so, but your emails might go to spam because there is a security validation where the recipient's emails might check to see, hey, this email came from Denver and it's saying that this is 12.3, and 12.3 is not from Denver. So you should talk to me about setting up an SPF record on your email domain in order to make sure that this is allowed before you send these out. So lots of things to talk to. I'm sorry that I'm trying to squeeze 6 gallons worth of content into a 5-gallon bucket this week. It's all overflowing, but there's just so much to talk about with e-marketing. Once your email blast is sent out through your send email campaign window, it will appear here in your reports section of your ACT eMarketing online account. Under my reports, I can see reports for the last year. And if I go ahead and open on one, here's one from yesterday morning. It tells me it was open 27% or 28%. I can see a preview of the template and the subject line that I sent out and the date and time it was sent. I tried sending this to 230 people that have opted into the group. Only 211 were sent successfully. 19 of them must have been bad email addresses or entered incorrectly. I can click on these bars to see the reports about who that was. They might be no longer existing email addresses or something. I can see bounces to see if any of these didn't go through successfully. I can see who opened my email a total number of times. So across, there were 60 unique people open my email at all. 60 out of the 211 bothered to open it. And of the 60 people that opened it, you guys opened it a cumulative 195 times. So about 3 times each on average. Some people might have opened it many times. I can see the links that were clicked on, and I would show you these reports, but I certainly don't want to expose your email addresses to YouTube and everything here. So unfortunately I won't, but you can open these reports and send them to yourself as an Excel spreadsheet or download these if you wanted to work with these numbers in more details. I can see opt-outs, and I can see which links were clicked on specifically by the link and see these details. Back within ACT, I can update these reports, these results. If people want to update the bounces and help scrub their database, you can update them directly back into ACT by going up to this email marketing tab and saying update email campaign history. it will show you email campaigns that have been sent out in your database. And if you check off these boxes, then it will put the history in, it will add a history record into the database that says how many opens and clicks the person had for that email campaign. And it will also check off some fields that were added in version 18. Every contact record has two fields that are kind of hidden. They need to be added to your layout. But they do exist in the background. They're called AEM bounce back and AEM opt out, Active Marketing bounce and Active Marketing opt out. And if you use this e-marketing update email campaign history, those fields, they're checkbox fields, and in the background they'll be updated to show if the person has bounced their email address or opted out. And you can use those as handy lookups in the future when you're building your group. If you're using dynamic groups, for example, that are based on criteria and filters, you can make sure that one of your filters is the AEM checkbox is not checked. We have a new message. Can you socialize new email and users on your website and then have those emails integrate into your ACT database, or you manually enter those emails in? It's a good question, Barb. It depends on what you are using for your forms on your website. If you have ACT Premium, you can tell right up here at the top if you're using ACT Premium or Pro. ACT Premium came with a new feature called the Web API in version 18 and 19 that will integrate with a lot of online applications. There's a solid chance that you can set up some type of integration between your online form builder and your database to automatically take new entries and direct them directly into your database. It's not really on the topic of active marketing, but I am going to have a Web API session soon. I'm not sure if it's on the current schedule, but I'll tack it on to the end if that's the case. The other answer for you, though, for currently, much easier than manually entering them, is to do an ACT import. Within ACT, you can go to File and Import. And this will let you import from an Excel spreadsheet or from a CSV file. That's probably the most common. So if you have, oh, okay, you're saying, can you solicit new emails? Yeah. If you can get those emails from your web form downloaded into a spreadsheet, then you can go into ACT and import them from the spreadsheet. And the ACT import wizard will allow you to do duplicate checking options and control how you're going to import that. And that's how I would bring those into the database. If you don't want to set up the Web API thing where you have to regularly work with the automatic integrations, because the Web API can have a lot of steps to do. I could certainly talk at length about that as well. Then you would have to start making it a habit to do regular imports from your list, depending on the kind of volume you get with the web form online. Maybe once you do one import to catch up, it would be easier for you to just manually enter a couple that you get each week, unless you're getting dozens each week, in which case you'd have to regularly re-import. Steven says, if you want to copy our company brochures for e-marketing, must the material be formatted in a specific way to be used in an e-marketing template? Generally, how I do that, a lot of people will send me like a PDF or even a Word document, or in some cases, a scribbled in pencil on a piece of notepad paper what they're trying to do, and they'll scan it and send it over to me and say, can we do this? The active marketing template can be really customized in terms of where you're going to arrange the logos and text. There is an import feature. I certainly won't say there isn't. There is a way that you can import HTML text. If you have an email blast formatted in HTML, you can upload it right here. I don't show the import feature because more often than not, it has a tendency to kind of mess things up. It takes your HTML and converts it into their own template builder style. And I've seen it add in weird HTML tags and dividers and alignments and fonts. Things get a little bit screwy. So I normally tell people to start by going into one of their stock templates, find one that hopefully looks a little bit close to your final layout so that you have to do as minimal editing as possible. And then using the template designer, you know, you got your brochure on one screen or on your desk. You can work towards that by trying to make your columns and images line up to it as closely as possible. There is no easy copy and paste to just take your whole email template and drop it in there. You have to use their layout designer to drag and drop columns and fields and rows on there. that will recreate it in a closely matched style, as close as you can get it. Depending on what your copy is, like I said, I'm happy to help build email marketing templates. Generally, they end up costing about $100 per template, but I have certainly charged more in the past based on how complete of a work you send me. If you have a PDF or a document that already has exactly what you want to send, and you just say, Stephen, make this into an email marketing template, I can usually knock that out pretty quickly, and it can be only $100. Sometimes people approach me and they have no idea what they want to send, and we're starting from scratch and building the whole thing together. That one may take more time and more billing. It's all project sensitive. Talk to me and we can negotiate and get the whole thing sent out from start to finish. So I hope this was informative today. I know that you guys have a lot of questions, and I apologize that unlike most of my weekly meetings, today was kind of a firestorm as we rip through ACT marketing and try to squeeze in a whole lot of information into one session. By all means, if what you saw interests you and you want to get started on email marketing to your database, you can try opening up that email marketing panel and see how far you get. And if you have any questions, do not hesitate to call me. My phone number is 803-6976, 716 area code. My email is steven@123.com. Thank you very much. I hope you guys all have a wonderful day.